Mick, another busy summer awaits us in 2026 with the release of next summer's fixtures. We're still 4 months away from a ball being bowled, but this is where the season and planning for it starts in earnest.
Yeah, I think so. I think from the players and the coaching perspective, they're very excited when the fixtures come out. I'm sure for the supporters and the members as well. It's a sign of things to come. It's a sign to start planning your away trips and seeing when the home games are. So yeah, really excited to get stuck into 2026, and obviously lots of work to do prior to that.
You know, if we start with the Blast fixture schedule, then the immediate standout among that, certainly across both teams, is all 6 of our home match days are double headers. Is that something that the club pushed hard for, and what will that exposure do to the women's game?
Yeah, I think it's the right thing to do, and I think it will be 6 good events at Trent Bridge next year. I think there's a variety of sort of Fridays and weekends and things like that, so that provides people hopefully with an opportunity to come over a weekend day, particularly, you know, maybe to a morning game and an afternoon game, and hopefully the day games or the weekday games, they can get to both of those too as well. So I think it's a key part of what we want to be as a cricket club, is to encourage those double headers and make a full event, a full day of a T20 experience.
Sure, the Blast schedule is obviously also the one that will be changing the most among the 3 formats. The slight reduction from 14 games to 12, that's something that the PCA and the players pushed hard for. What are the positives from a cricketing point of view that you think that will bring?
Well, I think you know, maybe a clearly laid out weeks at a time. I think, as I say, a lot of cricket in the back end of the week from Friday to Sunday, so time to prep, time to get ready and be prepared for those games on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which I think is an important time of the week to be playing. So sort of a regular pattern will be helpful. Time to practice, time to prepare, and obviously with a bit of extra travel thrown in with a couple of games that will make it slightly more challenging as well.
Yeah, if we come on to that extra travel, obviously Kent Spitfires are on our programme for next year. What is that an exciting thing, especially in the context of T20s where we've tended to play the same team regularly, the opportunity for something a little bit different?
It is, it's something very, very different. You know, I think we may have played Kent in a quarter-final or a knockout game at some point, I can't remember now, but we've certainly never played him in a group game. So it is an exciting challenge. It'll be a different experience because it'll probably be a T20 game that will take a day's travel, then a day in Canterbury, and then a day afterwards to travel. So it'll be a very different experience for effectively a pretty short game of cricket, but the chance to play somebody different away from home is a really exciting one.
Sure, and if we come on to the championship schedule, then there's little change there. I think the most mouth-watering aspect though is the fact that we'll play Surrey, who were obviously our title rivals twice. Is that an important aspect, being able to play the same and the biggest and the best teams twice here?
Well, I'd say no, in the sense that, you know, playing the best team in the country twice is a challenge when you only play them once, and we managed to beat them in 2025. But it's a challenge that we look forward to, the chance to play them here and at the Oval, all with the Duke's ball now, not the Kookaburra ball, which I think is a good thing for the game. Look, it gives us an opportunity. We were very good this year with the Duke's ball in terms of winning, I think, 7 games out of 10. And our challenge next year will be to take that on, whether we're playing the best team in the country or anybody else in our division.
Yeah, can you share a little bit more on the fact that we're going back to a 14-game Duke schedule? That's obviously the Kookaburra was certainly a divisive point last year, but there was a very clear vote to move on from that.
Yeah, there was. I think there's a strong feeling from those that are fully engaged in the county game that it wasn't particularly working, it wasn't providing entertaining cricket, and it wasn't doing the job that I think England wanted it to do for various different reasons. So we're very happy to go back to 14 Dukes. As I say, our record in 2025 with the Duke's ball itself was fantastic, but we know we need to match that again next year.
Sure, and then we finally come on to the One Day Cup, where our members and supporters will notice obviously that we've got one of our home games at Chesterfield. What would the thinking behind that decision?
Well, we have been talking to Chesterfield for a number of years, partly because the Blaze have played there ever since they came to Nottingham, and it's a venue for them. We think it's a really good venue. It's outside our county, we understand and accept that, but it's not a ground that's a difficult place to get to in a major town with good transport routes in and out. And Chesterfield Cricket Club, very, very keen to help, very keen to host, and we think it's an exciting new venue for us to play at.
Sure. And our established North Notts outpost, Welbeck, that's somewhere that we've been many times over the last year. That's back on the agenda. It's always a pleasure to play there.
Yeah, it is, and I think our record there is very good, very strong, and I think that's something that we should also be focusing on, is that we need to be winning our games as well. You know, so the fact that they can host 2 games in 3 days, I think it is, next year, we're very grateful and supportive of their support, which is absolutely crucial in terms of the amount of major match cricket that has to take place at Trent Bridge.
Sure, and then finally, as you've already alluded to, the Blaze will carry on playing at Chesterfield. But on the flip side of that, they've got 5 games here at Trent Bridge, which is an increase on last year, and that increase of exposure to Trent Bridge, certainly in standalone fixtures as well, that can only be a good thing.
Yeah, look, year on year we've increased the amount of Blaze cricket on Trent Bridge, and I think that's got to be our aim, to keep doing that whilst respecting the number of pitches on the square and the availability of those pitches. So, you know, we're building, as everybody knows, new pavilion, new changing rooms in there for the Blaze as much as for Notts, and we want to make sure that this feels like home to them when they're playing here, with the caveat that we do need outgrounds for both our men's and our women's teams.